Don't mind it na lang, brother.
Okay. Sige. Oh, you can move. Yeah, alright, okay.
I'm with
Hello.
Brother Suplido, the president of DLSU University.
Okay.
I just have 7 questions, brother.
Okay.
So, my first question is, what is your vocation? When did you realize or your calling?
Probably very young. I was a student in LaSalle, Bacolod, and they had plenty of brothers at that time. Many brothers were teaching us. So, grade 2 up to grade 7, almost maybe in one day you might have 2 brothers teaching us in class every day. And then outside of class, we would meet the brothers, games, mass, mga ano. And then I joined what they call the Vocations Club. This is for students. LaSalle Bacolod at that time was all boys who were thinking of either becoming a priest or becoming brothers. My older brother was 1 year ahead of me, was thinking of becoming a priest. I was curious about the brothers. And then also high school, going into high school. So my brother entered seminary after grade 7. I was thinking of the brothers. And then in high school, I had a cousin who was volunteering for what we called Sunday, like a Sunday academy. These were kids or older who were not students of the South, but in a way they were like canto boys, in a way, street children was not yet. They did not necessarily go to school, or they went to public schools. But then Sundays, they were welcome into LaSalle Bacolod. And then there was Mass, they would come for Mass. And then after Mass, there would be lessons, very short, like catechism lesson, based on the gospel on Sunday. And then they would have breakfast, milk, cheese, sandwiches. And then after that, games. They could use so basketball, football, whatever, you know. So there were volunteers, and I joined the volunteer group. I was first year high school, because my cousin was one of the college volunteers. So he invited me. I joined. So in a way, I got a chance to teach very short lessons, but and I sort of liked it. So when the invitation came, okay, you want to join the brothers? I thought, well, the brothers are teachers. I like teaching.
That was first year,
First year high school, yeah.
They invited you when you were
Yeah.
first year.
At that time, they invited high school students and they accepted. You know, so third year high school, I transferred to Manila because the house of formation for high school students was here. So I enrolled in high school here, and so that's how I learned more about the brothers, and then continued. So anyway, I sort of go back that maybe the calling to become a brother, to teach in a Catholic school run by the brothers, was something that I tried, and I liked it. I saw it as a meaningful life. And so that's how I joined.
You enjoyed teaching.
Yes, also.
My second question is, who is De La Salle for you?
De La Salle, well, slowly I got to know De La Salle because we were taught also, you know, the life of De La Salle, and then especially how he also answered the calling to be a teacher of young people who were poor from education to learn skills, and in his time teaching them, basic reading, writing, arithmetic, writing, was something that helped them. And then it was so important, it became his life passion. So that example of his, in a way, encouraged me, inspired me that, even up to now, you still have young people who were left out, because they don't have enough education, but yet, given education, they would also do better. So he became, in a way, the example, and then also, since he underwent challenges, when I would undergo challenges, I would also, in a way, ask for his help, his guidance, or look at what he did, what he wrote, his writings. That became, in a way, the source of my own kind of answer to the calling, to be a brother, to be a teacher.
He's like a perfect role model.
Correct.
Leader.
Yeah. And yet he also had struggles, no? So he was not somebody who was exempted from. In fact, I consider my life not as challenging as his, because he was he lived in a time where poverty was even more a challenge, no? And he and the brothers lived very, very simply. And in fact, some of the early brothers died very young because their food, their accommodations, where they lived, was certainly not comfortable
Compared to today.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. But yet he forced himself, because he came from a very wealthy family, but then he gave all of that up to join a group that were teaching very poor students, and were not getting, certainly, big donations to carry on their work. So they might say their food budget was limited. So they just had to make do with what they received. But yet, De La Salle ate their food. He joined them and he had to adjust. That, because he saw this is part of the community, that which they emphasize.
Thank you for that answer. These next few questions are kind of personal. So, brother, today, what are you grateful for?
I think, looking back, I went through different ways of a brother lives his vocation. So I was a teacher in a classroom, high school, grade school for a short while, and then high school, and then which included teaching, coaching.
Since high school, you've been teaching?
After college.
After college.
No, I got my degree, and then get assigned to a school. So my first assignment was in Iligan. So I taught there, and then did some coaching also in football. Yeah, because they were young brothers. You also have sports, so I like football. So other brothers were coaching basketball. So it was part of the brothers' life. You teach the classroom. After classes, then you can also be a moderator in terms of coaching or student orgs. I was in Bacolod. The following year, I was in Bacolod, and I was teaching science and math but I was also moderator of the Math and Science Club. So that's another type of activity with its own challenges. And then later, they needed administrator, grade school principal. So I became principal. There was a grade school here in town. Some of them are now alumni whose children are enrolled. So I sometimes bump into them. They were grade school students when I was principal, but then they moved on, had their own families, and now their children are studying here or are also in a LaSalle school somewhere. So that's a different. You look back and say, there were challenging situations at that level of administration. Then I was asked to help in the brothers, new ones, young ones who are joining the brothers. So they need formation, special formation, because it's to become a brother. So
what's special formation?
Well, what is the vocation of a brother? How do you develop that vocation? How do you part of that is prayer, and how do you integrate what you're doing with your prayer life? Another part of that is, of course, reading about what the rule of the brother is. In other words, these are the values that the brothers believe in, as brothers. And then, of course, the spirit that should be part of the brothers' life. So that is both study and then practice. So a young man who joins the brothers begins to understand that, and then how to integrate it in his life. So, and that takes time. So there are different stages of a brother's formation. So it might be what we call postulancy, then novitiate, then after discernment, whether it's his really vocation, then he makes vows, he profess vows. And then, so I was part of that process, accompanying the young people who were thinking of joining the brothers.
You guided them?
Yes. So I was in that for maybe 8 years. Okay. 11 years. But then I also went for studies, also for a master's degree, to prepare for that type of work or other types of work. And then the brothers asked me to take on a leadership position among the brothers. So among these would be what we call the visitor, brother visitor, is like, or the provincial. In other words, all the brothers belonging to the Philippines would be under one superior.
You became intense?
Yeah, that became part of that. So that means exercise leadership as a brother among brothers. Now, at the end of those 3 years, the brothers internationally also elect a superior general with a council. So the council are brothers from, in a way, all the continents in the world. And so I was elected to that council. So I was in Rome for 7 years. 7 years. Although not all the time in Rome, because if you're a general councilor, actually you're assigned a region. And usually, since I'm from Asia, so the region of Asia was the one that I would keep in touch with, so that what happens in Rome is not independent or is not is not separated.
Connected.
Yeah, must be connected. So sort of the link with
You're the link to
yeah,
Asia.
with Asia, I was the one. You know, so I would spend half the time in Asia, so visiting different countries. And at that time, there were something like 12 countries. So I go from one country to another, visiting and then talking to the brothers, visiting schools, and etc., teachers, and so on, or giving retreats to the brothers. Depends on what they were needing.
And you enjoyed it a lot. It's not tiring for you.
It is tiring because
You're traveling the.
you're traveling a lot of the time. You know, you live out of a suitcase.
Yes.
So, although the brothers welcome you and so on, but in a way, it's not a permanent stay, so you keep going. In the meantime, your work in Rome continues. So when you get back to Rome, then you have to take care of the correspondence. You have to